All I ever really wanted was peace and comfort in my own home, a place to unwind, be myself, and breathe after long days of work. But that peace started to disappear when my wife's friend, Borda, suddenly moved in without anyone asking me. I came home one evening after a particularly exhausting day, looking forward to a moment of quiet and a bit of solitude, only to find someone else already in our space. Borda wasn't just visiting, she was fully settled in. I walked into our bedroom, and there she was, sleeping in my bed next to my wife. I felt stunned. This wasn't just disrespectful, it was humiliating. Borda has always been part of my wife's life, and I've tried to be understanding. Over the years, we've picked her up from the airport in the middle of the night, hosted her on the couch during difficult times, and offered help whenever she claimed to be in a tight spot. But the difference now is that there was no discussion, just a quiet decision made behind my back when I was expected to go along with. The nights stretched on. Borda stayed again and again. Every time I brought it up, my wife would brush it off, saying that a night included the whole day, as though that made it okay. Meanwhile, Borda used our shower, ate our groceries, ran up our electric bill, and contributed absolutely nothing. And through all of this, no one had really asked me if I was okay with any of it. I felt like a stranger in my own home, like I had no say over the space I helped pay for. One night, overwhelmed and desperate to reclaim even a shred of normalcy, I sent a sarcastic text to my wife, warning her that I was about to take a massive, stinking crap, and hoped Borda didn't mind hearing or smelling it. It was petty, I know, but it was the only way I could express how invaded and disrespected I felt. They both got upset, but so was I, just in a deeper, quieter way that had been building for days. My wife tried to explain it away, saying Borda was houseless and had nowhere to go, and that because the house was also hers, she had a right to make decisions about guests. But we're already tight on money. I shoulder all the financial responsibilities on my own. The electricity Borda burns through while I'm at work, the food she casually snacks on, none of it is free. And my wife never mentioned the full extent of the situation before I was cornered into it. I wasn't consulted. I was expected to comply. I told my wife that I wanted her to have friends. I've never been the kind of partner who wants to isolate or control. But this wasn't about friendship. It was about boundaries, or the lack of them. I felt like my privacy, my voice, and my needs had all taken a back seat to someone who wasn't even part of our marriage. And then came the unspoken worry, the question that crept into my mind and refused to leave. Why was Borda in my bed? Why? Did it feel like she came before me? I wondered, were they just friends? Was there something more? Even if it was strictly platonic, their closeness and disregard for our shared space was difficult to ignore. The situation felt so lopsided and intimate that I started to question everything. Eventually, I couldn't take it anymore. One night, while they were watching TV loudly as I tried to focus on work, I got up, took the car, and drove. I needed space. I needed clarity. I talked to family and friends, people I trusted, and they all agreed that what I was experiencing wasn't okay. When I returned home, I was ready to have an honest conversation. My wife and I talked for 3 hours. That night, she reassured me that there was nothing romantic between her and Borda, that her strong reaction was based on guilt. She had once been in a similar situation and felt a deep obligation to help, but I explained that her good intentions didn't excuse the lack of respect for our marriage, our home, and my boundaries. I told her I couldn't keep feeling like the outsider in my own space, and that if she wanted to keep supporting Borda, it needed to happen elsewhere, not under our roof. We also finally addressed the imbalance in our household. I shared how overwhelming it felt to carry the entire financial burden, especially while being made to feel like my concerns didn't matter. I asked her to consider finding a job, not just to help with money, but to better understand the exhaustion I feel and why I value quiet, privacy, and peace so much after work. I needed a partner who not only cared, but who could empathize with the pressures I live with daily. She listened, really listened. That night changed everything. Today, months later, things look completely different. My wife now asks before inviting anyone over, and always sets clear boundaries around how long guests will stay. Borda doesn't live with us anymore. In fact, We now occasionally invite her and her boyfriend over for game nights. They come, they enjoy themselves, and then they leave. My privacy and peace have returned. Even more importantly, my wife has been working steadily for 5 months. She's contributing financially, keeping up with household responsibilities, and setting new goals for herself. I can feel the shift not just in our home, but in our relationship. It's not perfect, but it's grounded again. We've even started exploring couples therapy, learning new ways to communicate and respect one another. With that renewed balance, I found space for myself again. I've gone back to playing piano, reconnecting with passions I had pushed aside, and our home finally feels like what it was always meant to be, a safe, shared space where both of us matter and both of us are heard.